Let's get to serious issues. Nigeria is now ranked 4th on the Global Terrorism Index under President Tinubu. These were substantive issues that you and Mehdi had assigned.
But there's even a point of correction. Mehdi was even wrong.
But anyway, let me finish and ask the question. Meanwhile, the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data project data shows conflict death arising from terrorism, banditry, and all of that, have significantly increased. Now, you have been everywhere, defending the president's security architecture and all of that. Looking at this, that we're now number 4 and not being officially in a state of war with any foreign adversary. What do you have to say?
So, and I will take you back to Mehdi. When Mehdi asked the question, if you remember, whenever he asked a question, I used to say source, date, because he has a penchant for misrepresenting the public. That source he quoted, there's this general perception about him that he lies by omission. Lying by omission means he will bring a fact that is favorable to him against you as if he is anti. But the fact that he knows who provide the context, he will not. That's why you keep seeing me throughout. I keep saying context matters. I was deliberate about what I was saying because I did a study about him. That barometer is something barometer that gave that report. Check the last time they published that report. It was before Ashwaju became president. So lying by omission is now to import it back and say it is Ashwaju's government that said, if you are giving a report that predates Ashwaju, while the report might be the state of things in Nigeria, but at least provide the context to the people and say, although this is before he became on board, then you can make another argument to say, in fact, in my opinion, it's even worse now than it were. At least the general public, the listening public will have an understanding of the context in which you're bringing that. Now, but to answer directly, even as early as yesterday, when the president was addressing the governors, he told them about the next phase is for us to face this insecurity squarely. This government, we are not in denial about insecurity in Nigeria. We will never be. It's a fact. If you deny, that means you are not providing solution. What we have provided, especially when they come with this one-size-fits-all accusation against government, is to give the context. What you will judge us by is the effort we're putting. He just came back from England. What was the cooperation? Security cooperation is there. Before England, he was in Turkey. We have reconciled our relationship with the US. He said yesterday he had a communication with Macron, all in how they can give us equipment for us to deal with insecurity. We are a country that borders the Sahel, where is the Champions League final of all terrorism.
You do not deny that insecurity has worsened under President Tinubu? Yes or no?
Okay, so now...
No, yes or no? I have follow-up questions. Yes or no?
No, so this is... it's not a yes or no answer, right?
Okay, let me ask the question.
Let me tell you why.
No, hold on, Daniel. Even yesterday, the 150 plus people kidnapped in Sokoto, and the bandits or kidnappers requested for 20 billion or something of the sort. They didn't get the money. They killed them. I just got that report this morning.
Okay.
In Kwara State, overnight, yesterday or so, worshippers, 8 or so of them, were kidnapped. Last week, as the president was about to go to England for the state visit, we all know about the bomb blast in Maiduguri that killed scores. Yeah. I mean, is it yellow water? We could go on and on. Right. So, Daniel, even with this rough, mentions that I've done, is there any reasonable person in Nigeria that would deny that this situation on insecurity has worsened in the past 3 years?
You see, why I said, and I still want to bear it bears repeating, is because, like we used to say, context matters. Yeah. And people think that by providing that as a meme, it will make us to detract and
just
stay away from that. Yeah. But even those who say that, they provide context and everything. Why I say that is because you look at it progressively. Now, when the president came, there was a worsened situation, and we had 2 years of stability. When the problem at the time was economy, we were battling us with the economy. Then, when Donald Trump started this issue of the Christian genocide, we now see the rapid insecurity increasing. But also, historically in Nigeria, on the eve of election, this type of things happen. You remember during Jonathan in 2013-14, leading to 2015, it became like at a point Jonathan had to go to the bush. Buhari, close to the election, we had similar things like that. So when I say context matters, so that people can have an understanding of the exceptional, because it's a combination of terrorism, which has to do with what comes from the Sahel and the Boko Haram. And we have gone far with the Americans on how to deal with that. Then there is issue of what we call crisis economy, state crime. this issue of banditry, kidnapping for money. It has been, but it has now worsened in your words. So as a government, we are not saying that there is no insecurity. Even in media, as I said, if you remember, on many occasions she said, "Are you concerned?" I say, "Yes, I'm concerned." Then I will proceed to tell you the effort we are making. Even when I provided the context of the water, half full and half empty, is that like you who is asking me, you can say it is half empty because of the crisis. My duty as a government spokesman is to provide you with the context of the half full, because we are not unmindful of the progress we are making in that regard. Last year, you know how we arrested leaders of this terrorist organization that were in America's watch list, and the embassies applauded us. We cannot, while answering your question, take our minds away from the successes that we've made, so that Nigerians can have confidence that this government is determined in doing that. We cannot close our eyes from the fact of the progress we are making with collaboration with countries of the world to deal with that. So if I fold my hands and say, yes, it has worsened, without providing you this context, have I done a service to the government and to the people? Because you see, while the media dig into the sentiments of the society, government has a responsibility to inspire hope into the masses. We cannot speak in the same language with the media. And that's what they fail to understand. So we are not enemies when we insist in providing context, because we want the Nigerian people to have confidence that this government is working hard and that we're going to be out of the woods.
Don't put the blame on the media. The job of the media are multi-pronged.
Yeah.
We report news. So we have to report news.
Sure.
If fatalities happen from insecurity, we have to report that.
I agree.
We have to interrogate whatever government is doing.
That is fine.
We also have to set agenda for government.
I agree.
When government is losing focus, it's our job to also pull government
But I
back.
agree with you, but let me ask you a question. Are you happy at the way, with the advent of social media and the influence of social media on mainstream legacy media, are you happy with what is happening in the media world today?
I'm the one doing the questioning, but I would answer you that
the way it is
social media has its merits.
But now they are influencing
merits. It has its own negatives.
But the negative aspect of social media is now forming the basis for news item and punchline in the mainstream.
Not entirely correct. But let's leave that. Let's leave that. Let's leave that. Let me ask you pointedly, Daniel, and we're getting into serious issues now. In your heart of hearts,
we have not been talking serious issues.
No, we have just been done. We have been played. Let's get into serious issues. In your heart of hearts, I know you to be a good guy. You know, as President Bola Tinubu performed creditably enough on the economy, on insecurity, to deserve a second term in office.
And I'll
give you healthcare, education, power, insecurity. Does it deserve a second term on this four?
The president, and I'm glad you segment them, so I will be happy to answer on each. But on the all, the president more than deserve a second term.
Okay.
First term usually is laying a foundation, and then you will see some result. Most of the result of what you lay the foundation for in the first term is in the second term that you will see. So when you ask on the economy, I beat my chest to tell you there is no, among the politicians that ran in 2015, none of them that would have done what he has done, because while all of them said they were going to remove subsidy, after he removed, they started shying away from that decision. And that shows the kind of inconsistency of leadership. But President Tinubu stuck to that, maintained focus, and continued to dig in and look at the metrics and the numbers. All favorable to this government in terms of foreign reserve, in terms of clearing of the backlog, in terms of our name removed from that financial negative list, in terms of the strength of the naira, in everything, food items going down a little bit. And this was a decision that was made that everybody knows was going to bring concomitant effect. This is the economy. And in this economy aspect, the president, now the opposition said, don't challenge us on the economy.
Okay.
Let
me report this quickly.
Okay. All right.
And we're going to dwell on this for some time. So there will be time, don't worry.
No problem.
Take the macroeconomics, figures. You are saying, FX rate has come down, we have huge foreign reserves, and all of that. Of course, you can also even say inflation rate has come down. But in the living standards of Nigerians, where it affects the everyday man, such as myself, not you. You are part of the bourgeois. You are the bourgeois. I'm just a public servant. You are part of the bourgeois, So where it affects the common man, the everyday man on the street.
So you see, I'm happy you raised that, and we hear that generally from the people. And sometimes you see, macro and micro, they work together, right? One has to set the pace for the other.
Which one impacts the people more? Micro.
Yes, but the macro, if the macro is not put in shape, it will never affect.
But when the macro is now being doctored, It's been fictional.
No, but so let me answer that question. When you see the president's economic policy has begun to impact the Nigerian people.
Okay.
The stages of the impact of the economy has to be the establishment and laying the fundamentals of the micro. Then the impact will now be seen in the micro. The macro is what set the pace for the micro. Nigeria is a country of a larger population where whatever policy you bring for the positive, it will take time to trickle down to the common person. And even with that, this government, mindful of that fact, decided to introduce the interventionist policy of making sure within this period, as we glide through the pains that the Nigerian people are going through because of the policy, to a new hope, this is how we'll come and help them. So if you ask to the father, mother, or somebody who is a beneficiary of the loan program, Nelfon, his answer will be, the government has impacted his life. If you ask people in the agro sector who have seen improvement in their farming life, they will tell you, so the answer is relative based on impact. Yes, those who have not been impacted will complain. I can't deny that because we have said it will take time before it will happen. Then to support my case to say that the policy we have established is working, I now use sources and resources that are supportive of our view. And I mentioned these foreign partners. Now, if you say America is satisfying its customer, UK, European Union, World Bank, IMF, so where are we? Are we in Antarctica? Are they not the same people you will quote over time to say they reported that Nigeria is going bad? If today they say situation, people are killed in Nigeria, there's a Christian genocide, who do people call? Donald Trump. Who is he? American president. If they say there's poverty, the people are killed, so which barometer? Human right. This same individual, the minute their report is favorable to the government, then they lack credibility.
Let's put context. Let's
Thank
put context.
you. I'm glad.
Let's put context to this without speaking in abstract terms.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the number of jobs? Because number of jobs created is a major metric of economic performance.
Agree.
What is the number of jobs created in the last 3 years of President Tinubu's?
To be frank,
Number two, what are the number of out-of-school children? There were 18 to 20 million before he came in. Rather than reduce, it has actually spiked. So how many out-of-school children has been moved out of school?
Okay, so you want the answer.
Now,
I'll start with the second one.
Yeah.
That report that it is 18 to 20 million has been debunked as not the exact figure.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter since there is a large number of people that are out of school.
Yeah.
Why were they out of school? Because of insecurity. All these places where our schools are in remote places, you know that they have displaced people, right? Because most of the out of school children are in the northern Nigeria. But the point is government quiet and indolent about it? No. That's why the president introduced this policy of save the school.
Numbers.
I'm telling you that a lot of people became children were out of school because of insecurity. It's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that the
Insecurity
government,
and bad governance, although not just from the federal, but the states.
so I'm glad you know that. But the effort of the government in restoring the schools came through the Save the School initiative. Whereas people that are students that are in the outskirts, in ungoverned spaces, are now brought back to the state capital under this arrangement, and they'll be given the training. If you ask, is it happening? I would say, go to Central Bank and see how this support system is working.
Let's save time.
Then you talk about employment.
Yes.
Employment, we've been having, in terms of the exact figure, I don't have it, but I can research it and give you, because if I give an employment figure that is wrong, I mean, there is a bureau to discredit me. So it's not something that we're either cooking or we're trying to shy away from it. But if you're asking, has there been employment? Of course there has been employment.
The biggest one for me, actually, power. I have newspapers, 6 newspapers, 2022, same headlines, though varied in different words. The President Tinubu said, candidate Tinubu then said, it is electricity. If I don't provide electricity after 4 years, don't re-elect me in 2027 for the second term. Yeah. Should the president not stand before Nigerians, apologize for not keeping his promise, and honorably walk away so that somebody else who is more capable can deliver on this electricity?
Those people that you are saying they can deliver.
I didn't mention anybody's name.
Anybody, but you know
it
that
could be you. It could be anybody.
No, what I'm saying is, at least there was a political party that spent $15 billion.
You were part of that.
I wasn't.
You were part of.
I was never their member that time.
He should walk away and let somebody else do this job.
Let me tell you, the president has actually done much in power, but the output is the complaint. You are aware of the regulatory framework that now allows states to generate.
Absolutely, and private sector too.
And private sector. Is that not a positive? Oga.
He didn't do that. That was done under President Buhari.
I'm coming now. Is that a positive or not?
We don't have power.
Secondly, when the president came on board and only to discover that you talk about the discourse.
Yes.
The outstanding money that they were not paid. To the point, Asobila had to go on what? Solar. These are realities, so you have to settle that first. Just like when he came, the issue of forest backlog. You have to settle it. When we settle it, then we see airlines, doing business and being effective. It's a natural course of life.